Okay, we will solve the November 2022 exam. This one.
Are we going to solve paper 2?
No, paper 4. Yes, here. Okay, can you see my screen?
Oh, yes, I can see it.
Okay, I'll just make sure that I'm recording. Yes, I am recording. Okay, let's solve it. November. No, I don't want to solve paper 2. 1 minute, I'll open the correct exam. Yes, this one. Okay. Fine. November 22, 40, paper 42. Immediately, let's start immediately. Okay. Algae are classified as Protoctist kingdom. All algae contain one or more chloroplasts. State the name of another kingdom that contains organisms which have chloroplast. Now, this is a very easy question. Quickly. Throw the
Prokaryotes.
answer. Excuse me? I want a kingdom that has chloroplast that does photosynthesis. Plants. Plants. Pay attention to the question, please. Okay. Plants. Good. Now here we have classification. We have the length of algae X is 0.19 millimeters. Convert this to micrometers. Now this is also very easy. How do you convert?
Times 1000.
Times 1000. I did not hear you, but I think this is what you said. So it will be 190. Okay. Now classification. Very important. And you think that it's not, but it does come in paper 4. You have drawings here and you will be asked to classify here using a table. So we will use it and we will use it to guide us. Number 1, the algae has 4 spine-like extensions. If it does, we will go to 2. So we will go to the picture and we will choose which one has 4 extensions, 4 spines. What do you think? What do you see? Which one of them, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, has 4 spines? Or which 2 of them, or which 3 of them?
F and G.
Yes, so I will go make a circle here and a circle here. So I'm looking at those 2. I'm not looking at the rest. Okay, they have 4 spine-like extensions. I'll go to 2. I'll go straight to 2. They have spine-like extensions that are all the same length. Then it is this name. I'm going to go back to F and G. Which one has the same length? Of course, it is G. Okay, so I'm going to go to this name and I will write G here. A lot of you don't know how to answer these questions, even though they are very easy. Once you gave a name to G, I'm going to cross it out. I will not look at it again, so I'm not confused. Let's continue. The algae has spine-like extensions that are of different lengths. So it will be which one? F. Yes? Are you with me? I was looking at F and G. G, they are of the same length, and F, they are of different lengths. So it will have this name, and I will write F here. Once I gave a name to F, I'm going to cross F out. So I will not look at it again, so it does not confuse me. I can do this with a pencil. Now let's continue. The algae has a round shape. It will have this name. Let's go to which one has a round shape. This is too easy.
D.
D, round. Round. Which one has a round shape? A, B, C, D, or E? Of course, F and G. I will not look at it again.
B.
Which one is round? B, of course. Come on. So D is finished. I gave a name to B. So this will be B. Algae does not have a round shape. I will go to 4. So those that don't have a round shape are A, C, D, and E. B, F, and G are finished. So all those are the remaining ones that still have no name. I will go to 4. Let's go to 4. The algae narrows down the ends. Go to 5. Which one narrows down to the ends? Sometimes you don't understand the description. Which one, their ends are narrowed? A or C or D or E? Hmm?
C and D.
Yes. So I'm going to look at C and I'm going to look at D. These are the two that I'm going to look at now. So the algae narrows down to the ends. I'll go to 5. Let's go to 5. The algal cell is semicircular in shape. Which one, C or D, is semicircular? Give me an answer. C or D is semicircular.
D.
Hello? Of course it's D. So the one that is semicircular is D. So I gave D a name. I'm going to cross it out. So I have left A, C, and E only. The others have been named. Let's continue. The algal cell is not semicircular in shape. I was looking at C and D. Now D is gone. So what do I have remaining? C. So C will be here. Now I gave C a name. I'm going to cross out C. The last two organisms remaining are A and E. Let's finish this. The algae is branched. It will be given this name. Of course, it's very obvious. A is branched. So I will write A here. Now A is finished. Algae is not branched. Of course, the last one will be E. So I want to teach you that every time you give the organism a name, cross it out so you're not confused. These dichotomous keys, they come in paper 4 and they are important. So do not ignore them. Okay, let me zoom in. Let's continue. The phytoplankton are photosynthetic organisms. Describe the importance of the phytoplankton in the food web of lake ecosystems. What is the importance of the photosynthetic organism in any ecosystem, in any food chain?
Oxygen.
What do you mean oxygen? Is this, you will write oxygen and that's it? And what is this answer? What is the importance of the organisms that do photosynthesis? Why are they important? Who are the organisms that do photosynthesis?
Producers. Plants.
Yes, yes, plants. And the phytoplankton, they do the same function as plants. Why are they very important? What do the plants do? Why can't we live without plants?
Because they make
Can
their
someone give
own
me an
food.
answer? They
They
what?
make their own food. Producers.
Okay. Yes, you are right. And when they make their own food, why is this important? Why are they very important in any ecosystem? What do they convert?
Convert to the energy to
They are
the other
producers and
organs.
they convert sunlight or light energy into chemical
Excellent.
energy.
Excellent. Yes, please continue. And then when this chemical energy is made, how is this? What else? What will happen after that?
Primary consumers are going to eat them.
Huh?
So they
Exactly. Very good. So the energy will be transferred. So without the producers, there is no food chain. We cannot survive. So how will you answer a question like this? This is a very important question because it is very easy. Sometimes when the questions are very easy, you do not know how to answer them. Here, they're telling you that these organisms are photosynthetic, means they do photosynthesis. And why is this important? Because they are the producers. or they are the first organisms in a food chain. Of course, you will not write this and then you will stay silent. They will convert, this is the most important sentence, light energy into chemical energy. And you can even write the equation for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide and water to give you glucose, C2H. Give me, you tell me. C6.
5
What is the, huh?
C6H
Yes,
12O6
yes, plus,
O2 6O2.
yes, and you will balance that, write the equation, and then this chemical energy is transferred along the food chain. So without the photosynthesis and without the producers, there will be no food because these are the only organisms that can convert light energy to chemical energy. We cannot do that because we do not photosynthesize. So these producers, they make the energy available to the remaining organisms in the food chain. Okay, so this is the most important sentence. And why did I choose this exam? Because it has a lot of questions that are repeated. And this question is repeated in so many formats. They will always ask you what are the importance of producers. And this is the answer. They are the first organisms in any food chain. They occupy the first trophic level. Okay, they are the basis of any food chain. And the most important thing that they do is that they do photosynthesis, which is the conversion of light energy to chemical energy. And write down the equation. And then this chemical energy is transferred from the primary consumer to the secondary consumer to the tertiary consumer, and so on. It moves along the food chain. The chemical energy will move along the food chain. But who will convert the light energy to the chemical energy? The producers. And they are the only organisms that can do that. That is why they're very, very important. They create the food and we eat it as it moves along the food chain. Without them, no one will be able to convert the light energy into the chemical energy. I hope this is clear. So they are the primary source of energy. Okay, this question is very important and it is common.
Doctor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can I say that the oxygen produced during photosynthesis is beneficial or important for aquatic life, for the fish and other creatures that respire?
In addition to what we said, what you're saying is not wrong. Of course, it will give you 1 mark, but this is the answer when you are asked about the importance of producers in any ecosystem, lake ecosystem, desert ecosystem. Producers, we cannot survive without them because they are the ones that will convert the light energy to chemical energy. We cannot do that because we do not do photosynthesis. Any organism that does photosynthesis converts light energy to chemical energy. And of course, oxygen is produced as a waste product, and it is a beneficial waste product, whether in lake ecosystems or desert ecosystems. We cannot survive without the oxygen. You understand? So what you're saying is right, of course, but you will not write this as the main answer. You have to write this, or if you want to write it, in addition to the main answer, which is the most important point in the importance of plants or producers. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so what you said is correct, of course, but please write the main answer first and then write this as the side answer. It's right. It will give you a grade, or at least it will give you 1 mark. Okay, so this is digestion. Amylase. What is the organ that secretes this enzyme? Choose one organ here from the picture. Actually, they told you it is organ 1. What is organ 1?
Salivary glands.
Yes, these are the salivary glands. 1 minute. I want everyone to participate, even if we are not a lot, but please, everyone join. Okay? Now, what is the substrate? This amylase, what does it act on? And what does it produce? This is so easy.
Starch.
Starch, very good. And it breaks down starch into, and don't tell me glucose.
Amylase. No.
Habibti, it's amylase is maltose, yes. Okay. Now, all this until now is year 9. because yes, I did tell you to focus on year 10, but year 9 should not be ignored. If you did not take the core last year, then you have to really, really study year 9. If you took it last year, you can like study it lightly, but year 9 is very important, especially for those who did not take the core last year. Okay, organ 3. What is organ 3? What is
Stomach.
3? That's the stomach. Very good. Which enzyme does it produce?
Protease. Pepsin.
Protease or pepsin or protease. They're both correct, but pepsin is very specific. It breaks down proteins into
Amino acid.
amino acids. Perfect. Okay, organ 4. What's organ 4?
Pancreas.
Yes, correct. It's the pancreas. It produces lipase and other things. But what is the substrate for lipase?
Fats.
Fats into,
Fatty acids and glycerol.
yes, fatty acids and glycerol, not just fatty acids and glycerol. The maltase. Which organ produces the maltase? Choose one of the organs.
Five.
Small intestine.
Yes, 4 is correct and 5 is correct. Okay. So you can, but here I can see that it is in order. So we'll put 5 because 4 has been chosen. So the small intestine or the ileum, okay, it will break down what into what?
Maltose into glucose.
Very good. Maltose into glucose. Perfect. Explain the role of the hydrochloric acid in the alimentary canal. 3 marks. I want 3 points. Very easy. Again, this is year 9 material.
It provides a perfect medium for enzyme to work.
Yes, so this is the optimum, provides the optimum medium for the enzyme. Which enzyme?
Pepsin.
Very good, for the pepsin enzyme to work. Give me another point.
It kills
Kill
bacteria.
bacteria.
Yes, it kills bacteria. Give me another point. Who produces it actually? Because,
The stomach.
yes, this is a point, by the way. It is produced by the stomach. Fine. So because they told you here, explain the role of the hydrochloric acid in the alimentary canal, the whole of the digestive system. They did not specify where exactly. You can add that to give you a point. Don't only add those 2 points. Those are 3 marks. Now, how does it kill the bacteria? Think. How do the bacteria die?
Destroy the cell wall.
Yes, this can be an answer, or it can denature the enzymes in the bacteria. Bacteria, they also have enzymes, so they can destroy the cell wall. It's not wrong. Destroy the cell wall in bacteria or denature the enzymes in the bacteria. In case you're asked, how does it kill the bacteria? Okay. Let me highlight this. Good. Now, state a function of the region of the alimentary canal labeled 6. Let's go to 6. What is 6 and what does it do? What is 6?
Large intestine.
Yes, correct. And what does the large intestine do?
It absorbs water from undigested food and extra bile, give it back to the liver.
Yes, you are right. It absorbs the water. And what you said, of course, is right. And why does it absorb the water? To change the undigestible food into semi-solid. Okay, but just absorption of water is enough. Now, describe how food eaten by humans is reduced to smaller pieces and explain how this makes chemical digestion more efficient. You may refer to figure 2.1 in your answer. When they tell you you may refer, this means that you can use the figure or if you don't want to, you don't have to. You will not lose marks. But if they tell you refer, if this is not there and they tell you refer to figure 2.1, then you have to refer to figure 2.1. Okay? Now, tell me. Here they're asking you about what? This is a 6-mark question. How will you answer this question?
The site of the mechanical digestion.
Yes, perfect. Of course, you will talk about mechanical digestion. And then you will discuss different parts of the alimentary canal that help in mechanical digestion. And this will give you the 6 marks. What is mechanical digestion? Let's define it first.
Turning large pieces of food into smaller pieces to increase the surface area without any
Exactly.
chemical changes.
Perfect. You have to say that. It is the digestion or the physical digestion that will break down food into large pieces, from large pieces into small pieces. We do not here use the phrase from insoluble to soluble because this is chemical and we are talking about mechanical. So the mechanical digestion, it's simply breaking down the food from large pieces to small pieces, just like you said, and the objective to increase the surface area to help in or to help in chemical digestion. Any type of digestion has to first start with mechanical and then it will continue with chemical. And the mechanical is very important to increase the surface area. Okay, can you give me 3 examples where mechanical digestion happens along your digestive system?
Mouth.
The mouth and the
Very
duodenum,
good. Okay, the mouth. Wait, what will you say here? At least write 1 sentence.
the teeth grind the food to increase
Very
the
good. Yes, the teeth will do some grinding or crushing. Examples, the molar, the premolar, give any name of teeth, and it will do the grinding or the crushing. And that's it. You already mentioned that it will break down the food from large pieces to small pieces to increase the surface area. Very good. Give me another place or another location in the digestive system that does mechanical digestion. I want 2
stomach,
more. Yes, of course, the stomach. What does the stomach do or how does it do it?
the churning action. I think
Yes. Yes, the churning action, because we know that the stomach is a bag of muscle that keeps on moving and moving, like contracting and relaxing peristalsis. And this movement is called the churning action. Okay. And again, all this is year 9. All this is year 9. Good. I want a third example of physical digestion, one that we took in the supplement in year 10.
Emulsification of fats.
Yes, perfect. The emulsification of fats. Here you have, or you can write a lot of things. The bile produced from the liver, it will break down fats into smaller pieces so that the lipase enzyme can work next and then break it down into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay, this will give you the 6 marks. Please always look at the number of marks, and it is always an indication to how much you will write. Okay, so here, if you discuss chemical digestion, you will not get any grade because they don't want you to talk about chemical digestion. They want you to talk about mechanical digestion. So step number 1, understand the question. You will define to give a nice organized answer. While you are defining, you will say the objective of the mechanical digestion, which is to increase the surface area to help in chemical digestion later on. And you can give examples. Always give examples whenever possible. For example, protease enzyme or pepsin will break down proteins into amino acids, whatever. And then you will think of 3 places in your digestive system that will do mechanical digestion. Clear? Again, it's an easy question, but why do you always lose marks? Because you always give an incomplete answer or you don't understand the question and what they want exactly. Good. Now here, state 2 features visible that identify this animal as an insect. Why is this an insect?
Wings. Have wings.
It has wings. I
3
don't
pairs
see
of
wings. Where are the wings? It's an
3
insect.
pairs.
What's that? Yes, 3 pairs of legs. Yes. 3 pairs of legs or 6 legs, the same
One
thing.
eye.
What else? It's not compound, by the way, it is simple. And insects, they have simple eyes.
antenna,
They have 1 pair of antenna, yes, but what is the most important thing in an insect?
thorax, and abdomen.
Yes, 3 body parts, head and thorax and abdomen. This is classification. So 3 body parts. Okay, head, thorax, head, if you want to write them down. Thorax and abdomen. Again, this is year 9. classification of insects. The most significant thing about an insect, 3 body parts and 3 pairs of legs. Suggest how severe infestation of aphids on crop plants can be avoided. Aphids can transmit viral pathogens when they feed on a plant. Suggest, so this is a critical thinking question, how severe infestation of aphids can be avoided. How can you prevent insects feeding on your plants? Give me two. Huh?
Pesticides and growing
Of course.
crop in glass house.
Yes, pesticides and growing. This is a very good question. Growing those plants in glass houses. Think of another one. If you don't know what's a glass house, or you can simply describe it, I'm going to grow those plants in a separate place. I'm going to move them away from the insects or the pests in an isolated place. This will also give you an answer, or this will also give you a grade. Think of a third way. How can you prevent infestation?
Resistant crops.
Very good. Use genetically modified crops that are pest resistant. We took it in genetic engineering. Good. State the names of 2 tissues in the leaf that the mouth parts of the aphid can pass through to reach the phloem. What are the tissues in the leaf? What are the different layers of the leaf and the tissues of the leaf?
Xylem and epidermis.
Xylem, very good. Epidermis. You have the mesophyll layer, palisade and spongy mesophyll. Any one of them, just mention any tissue except the phloem because they want other tissues. Now you have here an experiment. Of course, don't do what I'm doing. I'm going straight to the question to save time. But on the exam, you have to read the question from the beginning. Okay. I think there was a question here. Complete table 3.1 by calculating the rate of movement in trial 3. So this is trial 3, and they want the rate. How do we calculate any rate in the world? Here, they're measuring distance.
Over time.
Yes, 630 over 150. But I see that here it is in minutes, and here they want it per hour. So we will divide 630 over 150, and then what do we do to convert it from minutes to hour? How do you convert from minutes to hour?
Divided by 60.
Divide or multiply?
Sorry, yes, multiply by 6.
Okay. Now I will have to calculate that. Give me a second. So 630 divided by, what did you do? Times 60.
252.
Yes, 252. I will have to open the mark scheme here to just make sure that the number is correct. 1 minute. Where are we? This is number 3. Yes, 252. Okay, very good. Outline how C14 in carbon dioxide gas becomes incorporated into the sucrose molecules that are translocated in the phloem. What will you say here? What are they asking about? Outline how the carbon dioxide will become part of the phloem, will be translocated in the phloem.
Photosynthesis.
Exactly, exactly. This is a very, very easy question. But again, they twist the question so that it looks hard. So they're simply asking about photosynthesis. You will write what is it and the equation, everything. So this carbon dioxide gas, write the story from the beginning. How does it enter the plant?
Through the stomata.
Very good. By?
Diffusion.
Excellent. So it will enter through the stomata. By diffusion. You want to define diffusion? Go ahead, no problem. And then it will be used in what? Photosynthesis. And you will write the equation or the word equation, chemical equation. It will not make a difference. Carbon dioxide plus water to give me glucose C6H12O6 plus oxygen. And if you write the chemical equation, don't forget to balance it. And then this glucose is going to be converted into what to be translocated in the phloem?
Sucrose or storage.
Very good. It's going to be converted into sucrose, and then this sucrose will be translocated to go to different parts of the plant, and it can be stored as starch. And of course, photosynthesis is catalyzed like any process in a living organism by enzymes. So this question is very easy. It is simply talking about photosynthesis, but they don't ask you a direct question, what is photosynthesis? They don't make life easy for you. They twist the question so that they intentionally confuse you. Okay, state two parts of a plant that are sinks. If the leaf is the source, what can be the sink?
Root,
Yes, roots. What else?
Leaves.
No, the leaf is the source.
Growing flowers.
Yes, you can say anything that's growing actually is a sink. Growing leaf, growing flower, okay? Storage organ, like a potato, a fruit, okay? Any one of those are sinks. Anything that is growing needs energy, so it is a sink. So if you write leaf, then it's a growing leaf, okay? Describe the uses of the sucrose by the sinks. So this sugar, it's used for what?
Main source of energy.
Okay, it's going to be a source of energy. Very good. It's going to be used in respiration. What else? I want three uses. This energy is needed to do what?
Respiration.
Yes, this is one point. It's going to be used in respiration to give me energy. And this energy is used for what?
active transport,
Yes, active transport. What else? This is like more than easy. This can be a question for year 7. Energy in plants is used to make what? Active transport. What else? Can't imagine that I'm waiting for an answer. Energy is needed by a plant. Plants don't need energy. Plants need energy, like any other organism. For what? Why do plants need energy? For growth, for active
to make
transport,
nectar,
for cell division, for reproduction, to make cell walls, to make fruits, uh, to make flowers, anything, to make nectar. Okay, all this until now, I see that the whole exam is from year 9. Okay, this is, you will find this also in year 9. 1 minute. Where exactly? Let me, year 9 or 10? This is core. Okay, so this is year 9. These are your notes. Where is it? Transport in plants. I have to get it for you. No, plant nutrition. Okay, it's right there. Here. Sucrose needed for transport, to be stored, for cell wall making, to make proteins, to make lipids, for growth, to make nectar, for respiration, for energy. All this is year 9. The whole exam is year 9. And this worries me because I feel that you're not studying year 9 material very well. Okay, now another question here. This is fermentation. Complete the balanced chemical equation to show how ethanol is produced by yeast respiration. Who remembers the equation? This is supplement. So what is the equation for fermentation? What do I put here?
C6H12O6.
Yes. Glucose is broken down to give me what?
Ethanol, carbon dioxide.
Very good. What's the equation for ethanol? Who remembers?
2C2H5OH.
Yes. Very good. How do I balance that?
2 before 2.
Yes, correct. Very good. Now suggest the environmental advantages of using ethanol as fuel. Biofuel, remember? What are the advantages? I want 3 advantages.
Decrease pollution.
Very good. Which type of pollution? You will use ethanol
Air?
instead of what? Excuse me?
Air pollution decreases air pollution.
Okay, I want again to be more specific. Here we are burning ethanol, or we're burning glucose instead of, and to produce ethanol. Instead of what? Like if we don't burn the glucose or we don't ferment the glucose, what will we burn?
Fossil fuels.
Yes. So I'm going to use less fossil fuels. And what are the disadvantages of fossil fuels? What does fossil fuels cause? Why am I trying to pull out the answer from you? It's very easy. Which type of pollution will decrease? When I don't burn fossil fuels, then I am decreasing what?
Carbon dioxide.
Okay, less excretion of carbon dioxide. And what is the problem with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Too much carbon dioxide. Because, yes, I'm waiting for that. Less greenhouse and global warming, less greenhouse effect and global warming and climate change. What else?
Fossil fuels are non-renewable.
Excellent. These are non-renewable, so I will save them. Even though ethanol or the glucose or the fermentation process, this is renewable or sustainable. It has the same meaning. So I'm going to save the non-renewable resource. And then let's focus on pollution, because this is the biggest advantage, is that I'm going to do less combustion of fossil fuels. This is what I was waiting for. So less greenhouse effect, less global warming, less climate change. Also, what are the gases that result when I burn fossil fuels? And what will this also reduce? When I burn fossil fuels, what does this do to the rain? Come on.
Causes acid rain.
Yes, acid rain, less acid rain. Now, I'm trying to remind you of the answer, but I want you to remember it alone on the exam. This is my problem. Again, this is year 9. 1 minute. Where is it? Where did we take that? This was in respiration. Okay, it's right there. Also year 9 material. Advantages: less pollution, less acid rain, less greenhouse effect, more saving of fossil fuels. It doesn't finish. Sustainable. No deforestation is needed to extract fossil fuels. So this sentence will give you 3 marks. Just this sentence. Good. Disadvantages of growing giant reed plants to provide biomass for the production of fossil fuels. We need to read the question. Farmers grow giant reed plants as monoculture. In other words, what are the disadvantages of monocultures? This is ecology. When I grow only one type of plant, give me at least 2 disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of monocultures?
Decrease in biodiversity.
Yes. What else?
Quick spread of disease.
Of course, there is a high chance for the spread of disease. What are other disadvantages? Who remembers? Here. Again, this exam is year 9. Disadvantages: decreased biodiversity. It will make the soil unfertile because you are using, or you are growing only one plant. So you will have to use lots of fertilizers. So this will cause more pollution, more spread of disease, just like you said, correct. You will cause eutrophication if you use lots of fertilizers. It will destroy the soil damage. Good. You will not be specialized in, actually, you will not produce a variety of plants. So there is a decrease in biodiversity. We already said that. So there are so many disadvantages. Please memorize them. This is also year 9. Okay. So spread of disease, decreased biodiversity. You will make the soil unfertile. So you will use lots of fertilizers. Lots of fertilizers will cause pollution. They cause eutrophication. Okay, graphs. This is also a graph with 3 grids. So 3 graphs on 1 grid. This solid line with axis is the concentration of xylose, and the dashed line is the concentration of ethanoic acid, and the solid line with triangles is the concentration of ethanol. And so they are looking at the concentration of these over time. Describe the results. Now, this question really worries me. It comes in every paper 4, and it's very easy, but I don't know why you do a lot of mistakes. Now, when you come to describe any graph, again, we will revise this part. A graph is either going up or going down, or it has a peak. Like, let's take every one of them. This one. What will you say about it? How do you describe it? Very easy. What will you say about this graph, the one with X's, the concentration of xylose? What will you say about the concentration of xylose? Quickly. It's very obvious. Did I lose connection? I think I did. Hello? Can someone give me an answer? What will you say about this graph? How can you describe it? Muhannad. Yusuf, Hannah, how will you describe this graph? Can someone give me an answer?
It's decreasing the
What is taking you so long? Exactly. It's decreasing. How will you answer this question? It's very easy. You have 3 graphs. Describe them. So you will say what? Concentration of xylose, 2 dots. It's this graph. It's going to decrease very quickly. So at time 0, it was 80 something. You have to give a number. And then it will decrease very quickly until it will become what? What do you say about the graph here? It will reach what? Or it will become what? Give me an answer. Yusuf. I'm not going to give you an answer. Give me an
It
answer.
will become constant.
I didn't hear you. Okay. And then the second graph, the concentration of ethanoic acid. What will you say also? It is also decreasing, and then it will become, what do you say about the graph here when it is a horizontal line?
A
plateau
constant.
are constant.
Yes, that's it. And then the concentration of ethanol, what happens to ethanol?
It increases
It is
then
the
becomes
only,
constant.
exactly. This is how you will describe, but this is not enough because you have to give numbers, at least 1 or 2 numbers. Okay. Now, when you are asked to compare, there are 2 graphs that are decreasing. Which one is decreasing faster than the other? The solid line, the concentration of xylose, or the concentration of ethanoic acid?
Ethanoic acid has a steeper decrease than the xylose.
Yes, you can say that. Okay. Good. Now, there is a meeting point between all 3. This should not be ignored. At time, you will say that at time nearly 38 or 39, all of them will have the same concentration, or all of them will meet at a certain point, and you will not, they are not the same concentration, no, because you have 2 graphs. You can give numbers that at a certain time, the concentration of xylose will be around 30 something, and the concentration of ethanoic acid will be around 0.6, 0.5, no, 0.6, yes. But this is not very clear because you don't know at which y-axis you will look at. But it's enough to talk about the decrease in both those 2 and an increase in this one, and that this one, it will decrease faster than this one. This is the describing, and write numbers. It's only 3 marks. Predict the results that you would expect for the concentration of ethanol if you repeat the experiment at 20 degrees instead of 30 degrees. So you lowered the temperature. What will happen to the reaction when you lower the temperature?
It will be slower.
It's going to be slower. So you will produce more ethanol or less ethanol?
Less.
Less. Okay. This is an easy question. This exam doesn't finish. Yes. Define community. Again, year 9 definition. What is a community? Who remembers? A community, these are when different populations of different species, okay, they live together in an ecosystem. Like, for example, we have a population of dogs and cats and human beings. These are different species. All the populations of different species in one ecosystem. This is the definition. You have to memorize the definitions, unfortunately. Okay. Now, it is said in class in a minute when we come to describe the definition of community, and I tell you all the different species in a population living together. It takes us a minute. So this is something that you can easily forget. What's a community? These are all the populations of different species. So I have different species living together, okay, in an ecosystem. Again, this is year 9 definition. Now let's complete the passage. Adaptation is sometimes defined as the process resulting from what? What will lead to adaptation by which populations become more suited to their over many generations? What does this remind you of? What will you write here?
Natural selection.
Yes, natural selection. Very good. Okay. By which populations become more suited to their environment over many generations. Okay, another graph. Now, this graph is a little bit different. They will ask you to compare the range in 1969 with the range in 2013 for each of the bird species shown in figure 5.2. Again, you are just going to read the graph. It's got nothing to do with how much you studied. You have here, look at the key always, a solid line for 1969 and a lighter line for 213. And you have here these are the names of birds. This bird, you will compare this line with this line. This is a range. So what will you say about A, the Mayer's Goshawk bird in 1969 and in 2003? Their height above the sea level.
In 1963, they were seen between the heights of 1,000 and 1,400, but in 2013, they were seen between the heights of 800 and 1,400.
Okay, you gave numbers very well. So which one was lower than the other? Or in which year it was lower than the other?
In 2013,
In 2013. Very good. You will give a range. Now let's go to B. This bird. Which one is more than the other? Or in which year was it more than the other?
2013,
In 2013, the range is bigger, okay? And give numbers. And then in the island thrush, in which year it was with a smaller range, or which year it was a bigger range?
1969,
It was a bigger range. It was lower, okay? And in the island leaf, they were nearly the same, okay? And there was no change between the ranges in this year and this year. So what will you do? Actually, they did it for you. A, you will talk about the range here. One was more, one had a bigger range, and one had a lower range, and you give numbers. And then in B, in 2013, this had a bigger range. In C, in 1969, this had a lower range. And in D, there was no change between the ranges. They were nearly the same. So this is just description, and give numbers, at least one number. Use the information and suggest reasons for the change in the range of the island thrush on Car Island. So let's go to C. In C, give a reason for the lower range. In 1969, there was a range between a bigger range, as you can see, and then in 2013, there was a smaller range. So what happened? Here they represent the range of the heights that the birds were seen on the island. So the height decreased in 2013. This bird, the island thrush, with time, the height became smaller. It became smaller in height. Can you guess why?
The number of animals decreased.
The number of animals decreased. Okay, why would they decrease?
There are endangered species, for example, are going extinct.
Yes, this can be a reason. So the reasons for the change in the range here, there's a decrease in the numbers or a decrease in the range of the heights. Okay, a decrease in the population. And for any reason, there, what did you say?
They're an
They became
endangered species.
they became endangered or close to endangered. And why would their number decrease? Why would they be close to being endangered?
Hunting?
Yes, any reason that can decrease their number. There is overhunting. What else?
Can't find a mate.
They cannot find a mate, no food, no water. There is loss of plants, loss of, there is deforestation, there is global warming, there is an environmental change, and they cannot live with this change in environment. Anything that will cause a decrease in their number, a natural disaster, anything. Explain the risks to these species of birds that have decreasing population. Now, this question also is highly repeated. When I have a population that is decreasing, 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 why is this a risk? Why is this not good? The answers are nearly the same. When the population is decreasing, 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 there's a chance for them to become,
Extinct.
yes, what else?
Their prey's population will increase.
No, you cannot hear, we're talking about one population. Ignore the other population. How can you know that the prey population will increase? Maybe this is the cause that the prey population increased, so they are eating them, but their population is decreasing. Now talk about the population that is decreasing. Why is this a problem? Number one, the first thing that will cross your mind is that they will finish. They will become extinct. What else? I have only 4 dogs. Do they easily find a mate? I have 4 dogs on the surface of this earth. Of course, they cannot find a mate. Not easy to find a mate. And if these 4 dogs are brothers and sisters, then they will mate together. This is called what?
Inbreeding?
Exactly. So they will practice inbreeding, and this is not good. Why is inbreeding not good?
It might give rise to mutations.
Very good. Can increase the chances of mutations and genetic diseases. Okay, and the spread of diseases in general. Now, here, this question, we also had this question in the previous exam. It's a common question. And here, when we talk about inbreeding, like, for example, self-pollination, what are the disadvantages of inbreeding and self-pollination and this type of limited mating? Does it give a variety or less variety?
Miss Variety.
Less variation.
Less, of course, less variation, with all the disadvantages that come with less variation. They're not adapted to the surrounding. There's a high chance for them to catch a disease. There's a disease, this disease can cause extinction. They cannot find a mate. Okay, this part, I showed it also to you last class or in the last online. Where this is, where is it? In ecology. Here. This last part on this page, the risks to a particular species as a result of a decrease of its population size. This part or this objective is very, very common. Okay, there is inbreeding. When we have very little number of a certain population, and they're usually siblings, then they will mate together. And this is inbreeding. Inbreeding, or very similar to self-pollination, there is a decrease in variation and biodiversity, a higher chance for the spread of genetic diseases and mutation, and the spread of disease in general. They are unable to survive changes in the environment. They are not adapted, increased chance for extinction, very small population, difficult to find each other. They cannot find a mate. They're too old. So this part, those 6 points, they are very common. Don't ignore them, okay? This is in the lesson Human Influences on the Ecosystem, Ecology. Okay. This exam doesn't finish. Will finish. State the names of the structures labeled Q, T, W. What's Q? Where is Q? This is Q. Now this is here the circulation in a fish. It is coming from the body. It will go to this chamber first and then this one. So what is this chamber?
Ventricle.
Yes, Q is the ventricle. Now what is T? Let's go see T. T is coming out of the kidneys. Out of the kidney. Not
Renal
towards the
vein.
kidney. Correct. This is the renal vein. W. Where is W? W, W. W is here. It's going towards the heart. Coming from
Inferior
all the
vena cava.
organs. Yes. Just write vena cava because you're not sure if it's inferior. It is inferior. Correct. It's coming from the liver and the alimentary. Yes, it's inferior vena cava. So this is the vena cava. X. What is X? It's going towards the lungs.
Pulmonary artery.
Correct. This is the pulmonary artery. Okay. State the name of the structure V and describe its function. What is V? Yes. What is V?
Septum.
What are the functions of the septum?
It separates the different chambers of the heart between the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood.
Yes. Give me another function.
Allows double circulation.
Allows double circulation.
Yes, very good. Double circulation. This exam is very strange because 90% of the exam is core material. State why the fish circulation is called single circulation. No, this is supplement. Why is it called single?
Because it goes to the heart once in a complete
Yes.
circulation.
Good. To the heart once. Okay, the advantages of a double circulation. This is finally a direct question. What are the advantages of a double circulation? This question in itself can be 3 marks or 5 marks. The same question. What are the advantages of a double circulation? Why are you silent? You don't know what are the advantages of a double circulation? I'm not going to give you the answer. What are the advantages of a double circulation? It's right here. You're still silent. Advantages of a double circulation. What is a double circulation? The heart passes through the blood passes through the heart. How many times per circuit?
Twice.
Twice.
Twice. What are the 2 circuits? Once it goes where and once it goes where?
Once to the lungs and once to the other parts of the body.
Very good. When it goes to the lungs, this is of high pressure or low pressure?
Low.
Low.
Low pressure. And why is it important that it reaches the lungs at low pressure?
To avoid the rupturing of the delicate alveoli and capillaries.
Very good. Okay. Now, when it goes to the rest of the body, this is the pulmonary circulation or systemic?
Systemic.
System.
Systemic. And why is it important that it reaches the body at high pressure?
So it reaches
High
all
pressure.
parts of the body.
What did you say?
So it reaches all parts of the body.
No, this is not enough. What reaches all parts of the body? What is very important that has to reach
Blood.
all the parts of the body?
The oxygen.
What does the blood carry? My dear, your answer is very vague. What does the blood contain that must reach all parts of the body at high pressure?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, glucose, heat. It's all right there. You're not studying it well. You're not studying the details. When you write to the examiner that it's very important that it reaches all parts of the body, the blood, this is not enough. You have to write exactly what will reach all the parts of the body. Oxygen for aerobic respiration, glucose for respiration, heat so that we maintain, because we want to keep our body temperature constant. Not only that, the blood will provide oxygen and remove what? What does it remove?
CO2.
waste products, CO2, lactic acid, excess heat if you're exercising. These details are important. They want those details, okay? To prove to you that these details, they have to be there. Don't just give them vague answers. This is which question? This is question C. Let's look at the mark scheme. This is 6. Here, this is the answer right there. Okay. We want efficient supply of oxygen, nutrients, efficient removal of waste products, carbon dioxide, urea, waste products. There is a low pressure circulation. Why? To prevent damage to the capillaries, to give time for gas exchange, so that I don't damage my capillaries, so that I do not rupture my delicate alveoli. And there is a high pressure circulation for efficient filtration in the kidneys, for excretion, for the removal of waste products, to allow or maintain a high metabolic rate, a high rate of reaction, respiration. Let's look at additional answers. To allow a high body temperature or maintain the body temperature, okay? Larger or steeper diffusion gradient. Here, if you want to write details and say that it will quickly provide the oxygen and quickly remove the waste product so that there's a concentration gradient and gases can diffuse faster. So you have to write details. Don't just write vague answers. Good. So this question is very important and it's very direct. The advantages of a double circulation, you will write what is a double circulation. So you will mention the systemic circulation, and you will mention the pulmonary circulation. One is of high pressure. High pressure means it's very fast. Blood is traveling at high pressure and high speed to provide oxygen, to provide glucose, and to remove waste products, also to provide heat and maintain body temperature. And the pulmonary circulation, this is the low pressure circulation so that I don't damage my capillaries and my alveoli, also to give time for diffusion of gases. State the name of the blood vessel that supplies the heart muscle. What is the name of the
Coronary
artery that?
artery.
Coronary artery. Good. State one way in which blockages in these blood vessels can be treated. This has been canceled from the syllabus, but can you think of one way? How can you treat a coronary artery blockage? What will you do?
Decrease the fat in the diet.
This is the correct answer. Very good. You will use drugs, you will go do surgery, or you will reduce the fat intake. Yes. Okay. Or do surgery or go to the doctor. But the details of the surgery has been cancelled. State the structures in the lungs where oxygen passes into the blood from the air. Now, this is so easy. Exchange of gases, where does it take place?
Alveoli.
Alveoli. Where does filtration take place in the kidney? Where exactly in the kidney?
Bowman's capsule.
Excuse me?
Bowman's capsule.
The Bowman's capsule. Okay. The nephron, the glomerulus. This is, I think, a better answer. Okay. Because the filtration, if you want specifically, the filtration happens in the glomerulus, ultrafiltration, and the reabsorption happens in the renal tubules, and they are all the nephrons. So the glomerulus is a better answer. Fine. State the name of the process in which products of digestion move into cells and they become part of the cell.
Assimilation.
Assimilation. State the name of the process in which excess amino acids are broken down in the liver.
Deamination.
Deamination. Good. State the name of the organ that releases estrogen in the blood.
Ovary.
Ovary. Now, if I am you, I'm going to revise every single process. Assimilation. Give me examples of assimilation. What if they ask you, give me an example of assimilation? What will enter the cell and become part of the cell?
Water.
No, give me another
Proteins,
example.
nutrients.
Yes, exactly. Give me A precise example, you said proteins, nutrients. Now the protein does not enter the cell. The protein is so big. The protein is first digested to give me what?
Amino acid.
Very good. And then this amino acid, when it enters the cell, it will change again back to?
Yeah, protein.
Very good. Give me an example of a protein that you see inside the cell. Which type of protein? This question, it did show up in one of the exams to give an example of assimilation. The amino acid, first you eat the protein. This protein, you eat it, for example, chicken, meat. The body does not want it in this form. The body will digest it into amino acids. The excess will be aminated, but what we need will enter inside the cell, and this amino acid inside the cell will change back to protein, but a different type of protein. It will change to an enzyme, to a protein in the cell membrane to help in active transport. It will change to part of a hormone. You understand? This is assimilation. For example, you eat starch, you eat bread. This starch will be digested to give me glucose. And this glucose will enter the cell. And I'm going to use it in respiration. I'm going to change it to glycogen and store it. This is assimilation when it becomes part of the cell. But first, you eat something, you digest it so that it enters the cell because it's too big and it is insoluble. It will not be able to enter the cell. You have to digest it and make it soluble so that it crosses the cell membrane and enters inside the cell. Inside the cell, I'll change it into another form. This is assimilation. Clear? Now the exam is finished. The exam was too easy and this made it hard. Like it was too easy. The questions, most of the questions came from year 9. You have a classification question. You have a question here that asks you about the importance of producers, and most of you remained silent. So a question asking about mechanical digestion, not chemical digestion. Any questions over this exam? You will have the describe the results from a graph. This comes in every exam. Again, any graph. This means it is increasing. So easy. This means it is decreasing. If you have two graphs above each other, then A is increasing faster than B. If you have two graphs below each other, then A is decreasing, then B is decreasing faster than A. B is decreasing faster than A. There is a steeper decrease. A here is increasing faster than B. There is a steeper increase. And then if the graph is going up and down, up and down, up and down, how do we describe it? How do we describe a graph that is going up and down? What's the word? Yusuf, can you tell me? A graph that is going up and down and up and down and up and down. It starts
Fluctuating.
with fluctuating, yes. Okay, if you have a graph that looks like this, then there is a peak. If you have a graph that looks like this, then it became constant. So it's very easy to describe graph. If the graph looks like this, and then this, and then this, then divide the graph into 3 parts. Here it is increasing, here it is constant, here it is decreasing, and give numbers. This is the describe. If you're asked to explain, then you definitely know why it is increasing. It is either related to enzymes, temperature, pH, whatever. Okay? Any questions before I go? Okay, I'm wishing you best of luck and keep on doing what you're doing. Any question that you need, send it to me on WhatsApp. Okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.